Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around the Multiverse with your host, the man who climbs up the wall barefooted because reasons. They're kind of explained. Kyle Charles and
the trailers that the costumes that only appear to entice you to watch the film on the trailers because they're not actually in the movie. Too much on.
No problem. And today we are going to talk about the curious life of Cassie Webb, aka Madam Webb, in Sony's new venture into the Spider-Man universe. Yeah, Madam Webb.
Like you're saying, this film reeks of, look, we got Spider-Man property, but we ain't got Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So let's do everything and allude to that direction without actually
doing it.
Yeah. Well, they throw so much in that. Oh, it's Spider-Man related, but we can't, because he's in the MCU. We can't really use him. And it's just like, yeah, but do you really need You either go all in that direction and do it to the verge of parody, yeah?
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, yeah, okay. Or you don't do it at all, right?
Yeah.
But they do it too much here that you're like, why point in the direction of something else when you're supposed to serve your own product?
Yeah, I'm going to say something not controversial, but...
Yep.
Did I like this film? I liked it.
Yeah, okay. No, I was gonna say before okay. I'm not blazing the film, by the way.
No. Like, I'll tell you why now I like it.
Yeah.
They made rather interesting choices to me. I was like, okay, I'd never in a million years saw this coming. So, okay, you've kept my attention for the hour and.
I will say there's some. Okay. I think there's bits that I do like with this film, and there's bits where I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And it's not terrible.
No.
It's not as terrible as people are saying it's terrible.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. I'm like, really?
Okay.
Okay.
It is exactly the film that the trailer, if you watch it, this is exactly what you get.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, it was marketed the right way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like,
you can't hate on it for being what exactly it was.
Like, at least this film you kind of knew you were going in for. Unlike, Morbius. Trailers for Morbius is weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that film, even when you watch it, and again, that kept my interest. So to me, it's okay film. But going in like, I have no idea where this film's actually meant to do.
And you know how we discussed before? We were talking about Echo, and we were like, oh yeah, we saw the trailer for Madam Web. And then we're like, okay, so it's too obvious. Maybe it's going to be something else or another thing happening as well that we don't know of that the trailer didn't know exactly what the trailer showed. So,
because the only thing, because I watched the one trailer for it.
I think there's only one. There's only one, it seems.
Oh yeah, like I kind of thought the stuff that non-spoiler at the moment as well. Non-spoiler at the moment. That we see in the trailer were playing more heavily in the film, but then when they explain, it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of a different take for me. Yeah. Okay, cool, that kind of makes sense.
I will put it. You say you mentioned Morbius.
Yeah.
I will say this is probably around about that level as well. It's not terrible. I have actually recently seen Morbius. Yeah. It's not terrible. Morbius ain't terrible.
No. Again, that's not a film. It's not as bad as people make it out to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not good.
No.
But that's different,
Yeah.
Yeah. So similar to this, right?
Yeah.
Morbius is like, it could be a low budget B movie, and you'd be like, all right, that's okay. Yeah. But because it's big budget and got big star power, you're like, maybe you're expecting more, but it's just, well, that doesn't necessarily mean a film is good just because it has those things.
Yeah, exactly. It could have like.
We talk about. I mean, Blades all the time, or Blades all the time because it didn't make sense. But Batman vs Superman had so much budget,
and look
name,
at that
power, and all that stuff, and that story, and it was like 2.5 hours and stuff, and you like, there's 2 characters you need to concentrate on. You couldn't even do that. So.
Yeah, like it's alright. People might just hate me for what I'm about to say, but I would say I enjoyed Morbius more than I enjoyed Batman vs Superman.
That's because, right, at least Morbius is consistent with his characterization in the comics.
Yeah.
He's consistent throughout the film as well.
Yeah.
Whereas
like one story plot, you know what I mean, rather than like.
And then switch, and then say stuff like, if there's a 1% chance he's our enemy, you've got to take as a total 100% certainty. It's like,
huh?
Yeah. That's not where's that come from?
That's not how maths works, but alright, sure.
no, exactly.
Yeah, so like, I'll give it that. Like, this film, again, no spoiler alerts, it's kind of a setup for like an expanded universe.
Yes, which I don't personally. I don't think it's going to get a sequel. Doesn't look like it's setting up a sequel. Wait, it leaves strings, but it's just like but no, it can be. It's a one and done as well.
Like, because the show I went to was quite packed. I'm not gonna lie. And then when I came out the cinema, there was like people queuing up. I was like, what other film would people come to see today? Like, oh, no, there's not really any other film, would there? Even though it was Valentine's Day, but
Valentine's Day, girl, like, who's taking who? Like, is the girls taking their boyfriends to watch this, or the boys taking their girls to watch this? What exactly?
I feel like people who are not like comic book savvy will see Man and Women. Oh yeah, cool, we're going to see this. This must be connected in some weird way, even though it's not.
That's why I think it relied on too much of that rather than. Go on, you finish first.
Oh, no, I'm saying, and that's like how maybe this film might make money, you know what I mean? Rather than like Morbius. What connection really does Morbius, the name, have to Spider-Man? At least Madam Web.
And then
you know what I mean?
They try to throw the vulture in Morbius to be like, oh yeah, it's connected, but it's not really connected. But no. Like, oh, shut up. Just leave yourself be,
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, none of these films hold a candle to the Venom films, but like the Venom films are like money making like films, like
Yeah. Even though Venom is more directly related to Spider-Man than any of these films.
Yeah.
It is just like, well, I'm just gonna be my own thing, apart from that. So hey, I look. I like B movies. I like slasher movies. Yeah. This kind of gave those vibes.
Yeah,
it was just like a lot of money spent on something that could have been a way smaller budget.
Yeah, but to be fair, like, I'm trying to think how much did this film cost to make? Let me just check.
Yeah.
Because it, like, realistically, it's not really, like, there's nothing super expensive-y looking about the film.
Well,
80 million. Okay, that's not bad.
Your typical action explosions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
But to be fair though, 80 mil.
I feel as well that this was kind of action orientated without any. Okay, so I mean, I don't. It's difficult without saying not spoilers per se, but really, it's not an action film.
No.
I say it's more like a thriller or whatever, right?
Yeah.
A suspense thriller, whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But and there's action, but there's no opposing force action.
Yeah.
If so it's just like, okay, so how do we deal with this?
No, I kind of like that. I think about it now. Like,
yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? I feel like I'm gonna.
All right, if you say from now on, spoilers, whatever. You're going.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, no. We can conclude afterwards. We'll speak about it afterwards.
All right.
There's a good movie in here somewhere where I feel like if you cut certain bits out, right, which we're gonna probably when we start in the spoilers, I'll say this is the section But if you just cut certain parts out and make it like a chase movie, not like a car chase, but they're running away from the horror villain, that sort of movie, then that's fine. That's kind of, and you don't need to explain backstory for nothing. It just is after them, for example. You know how Jason's just after the victims, yeah? Yeah, so boom, you gotta just get yourself going like that. And then I'd have been like, okay, I'm on the ride for that. But when it's just like, you get backstory and you're like, yeah, but this is typical. Not only is this typical, it's cliche. And you're like, but why? The more you're not making a sympathetic backstory, and you're not making me more intrigued. You're actually making your antagonist character less intriguing. He's just there to do it for selfish reasons. Like, okay, but why? Yeah,
like the villain's motivations are kind of like meh, but the Madam Web and the Spider-Girls, or someone referred to them. Actually,
the comics, yeah, the Spider-Girls in the comics.
That's it. Madam Web's Angels. Yeah. I kept getting that Charlie's Angel vibe from it. Like, they're all like, I think their relationship in this film, that's pretty good. I like all that. But like, the villain's like, okay, I just need to.
I have to say as well, they're supposed to be playing teenagers, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think any of these girls are under 20.
Nope, they're all. I just really checked. The girl played Anya. She's like the youngest. She's 22. The other's like.
You know what? I thought. And I'm not saying about the way she looks older than she is, right? But because of the confidence that she was holding her character with, I thought she was older than the other two.
Yeah, no.
The actress.
She had maturity. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think she because of her character, she had all that vibe that she was
older.
Yeah. She was looking after herself rather than a bit more left in the to your. I want to say to your own devices, but more like the young ones are more kids-ish.
Yeah.
And I will say the oldest, the other girl, the one who played Julia Cornwall, not Julia Carpenter, right?
Yeah.
I thought she was the youngest.
Yeah.
But turns out she's the oldest.
Yeah, it was one in real life. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay. But then she did give me that vibe of a more like a kid. So an underconfident kind of kid.
Yeah, like they all played their roles pretty good. Like I give them that. Like,
I think it's the one that played Martha. She's really tall for whatever age she's meant to be.
Yeah.
Or maybe the other girls are short, shorter.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's why I'm like, this girl could not pass for a supposed school kid.
I think they're meant to be like, how old they said?
I think she was saying something about them being under 18 or something like that.
I think they're between like the ages of like 16 and 17.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense. Or I'd even say the one who played Julia, I'll probably say she might be 15, or playing a 15-year-old.
Yeah. I will say this as well. Why did they change their name from Julia Carpenter to Julia Cornwall? It's like...
Well, this is a reason, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, was Julia Carpenter's name always Julia Carpenter, or did she,
That's true, actually.
That's only I can think of. Oh, wait. One of her alter egos is Julia Cornwall. Yeah, never mind. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, unless you're going to say her mum's name was Carpenter.
Ooh.
And and when her mum got married, her name was Cornwall, and then you can just flip-flop it or whatever. Anyways, look. I like the chase parts of this movie.
Yeah.
And I didn't need backstory for the villain.
No.
And I could have done with less in-your-face Parker stuff.
I like that stuff. I was like, oh, okay, so Mr. Ben is...
Yeah. No. Don't get me wrong. Sorry, go on. You go first.
He's not as, how we get the perception of Uncle Ben, right?
Yeah.
Like he was like this, always super nice guy or whatever. But obviously, this is before he became an uncle. So you can see, it's nice to see that he had a life before becoming...
Yes. Yeah. I will say, when Adam Scott and Dakota Johnson were on screen together as buddies, right? I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, that it gave off that vibe like they're friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's you know, there's stuff happening here aside from the main story. You know,
Yeah.
they all chill with each other and everything like that. And I was like, oh, like they didn't do the love story thing with those two, which I was like, that's good, that's good. But then because we know,
yeah,
Ben Parker doesn't end up with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I was like, yeah, I like those bits, the slice of life bits, right? And then yeah, I want to say the movie gets going and he gets sidelined for
yeah, which I kind of mind because then
yeah,
it'd be weird if it's all about like, oh, so he was always destined to have
exactly.
I don't know if you can answer me this question, and I've always wondered. So, actually, no. Now this makes sense. So basically, Aunt May, she's not related to Peter by blood at all. She's related to him through marriage, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, it makes the bond thing makes more better to me.
But let me point out this in the comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so May is definitely not a Parker. We know that, yeah, because her surname is Riley from Ben Riley, right?
Yeah.
Except that there was a comic that she said her surname was something else, but that was way after the Ben Riley thing, so they had to correct it in the paperback. Anyways, when I was reading, I was like, "Oh, that's a bit weird." Anyways, right? So May was never a Parker.
Yeah.
So it's Richard and Ben, they're the Parkers, right?
Yeah.
I assume. Yeah. But I think there's a continuity where Mary and Ben are what's it called? No, that wouldn't make sense, would it?
What, Mary and Ben being?
No, yeah, because she has to.
Sense, no.
Yeah, because she has to take the surname Parker.
Yeah.
So I think it's always Richard and Ben that are
brothers, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, they could adjust it somewhere.
Yeah, there's probably a way around that. Yeah.
But yes. So it is basically that. I did like Adam Scott in this actually. Same. Very chill, very chill dude.
Like to me, it's gonna sound really weird. Yeah, he looks like an Uncle Ben when he was younger to me in my head. I was like, yeah, I could buy him being Uncle Ben.
Yeah. And then I thought there was going to be maybe a cameo at the end, but then I was like, it doesn't make sense because of the year the movie's set. Unless there's going to be some CG.
Huh. 2003. That's a
yeah. Well,
time to...
okay. So from what they were saying, they were adjusting the timeline of the movie.
Yeah.
Because then they were like, we could have a Spider-Man cameo in it, right? But then they had to work out whether it's going to be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Or the Tom Holland Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then I think they just cut that because they were like, it's going to be a bit... Well, as the movie unfolds, you can't really do that.
No. Well, they could if it's a future scene, and
yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, I was like, this hits all the. it's predictable and typical.
Yeah. But
so like, there's nothing surprising. There's nothing special with it. No, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's terrible.
No.
But if we weren't reviewing it, would I pay to watch it? Well, yes. If I can answer that question.
You wouldn't. I would.
Yeah. But then again, I didn't pay to watch Morbius.
Yeah, did I?
I end up watching it on Netflix.
Yeah.
And would I go to watch Kraven the Hunter? No, I don't think I would. I mean, I would pay.
Yeah.
I would go and watch. I am going to go and watch it, right? Because we're going to review it. Yeah. But would I? If we weren't reviewing it, would I pay to watch it? Nah.
I read this was really bad, and it makes me one of those people. But I can already tell that this Man on Web is going to be better than Kraven the Hunter because Kraven the Hunter. I was talking to someone else about this. It just seems like, in my opinion, someone's like, okay, what characters in Spider-Man can we use? Yeah. Oh, people know who Kraven is, and then they've kind of gone away from what Kraven is. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, and here's a hero. What?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I know we are going to start with spoilers to the actual movie review soon, but let me point out, right?
Yeah.
Literally, if you're going to do a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man, why don't you just do a Scarlet Spider movie? I know you can't do the clone thing. Obviously, that's going to be difficult. So just wholesale change Ben Reilly to like call the guy Ben Reilly, have him completely different, whatever, right? Any race character, you could just whatever, and just do a Spider-Man movie like that. Scarlet Spider, boom.
But the problem running with that, people complain like, well, you know.
I mean, Sony, I bet you would make a Miles Morales movie.
Yeah.
If they could, right?
Yeah.
But there's probably an issue with that.
No, I think if the Tom Holland Spider-Man never happened, they could have easily I reckon they would have done a Miles Morales Spider-Man and then kind of loosely tie it into the Andrew Garfield one if they didn't make a number 3. Like, this happened a couple of years later.
Let me give you feed you the other end of the equation as well. That may make you think that Sony hadn't got the rights to it. See, when Sony got the rights to Spider-Man and Spider-Man related stuff back in the late 90s, Miles Morales wasn't a character that was created, so they wouldn't have got the rights to him.
But they have the rights for him for the Spider-Verse.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah,
this is true. Oh, that's true. Actually, I never thought about it like that.
It's a weird one, like. But to be fair,
how do you absorb properties that are not created at the point that you buy the rights to it?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they did the cartoon, because they live action was a no-go. I don't know.
Because you're saying that now, because it even goes back to Wolverine, like Logan.
Yeah.
When Fox got the rights to X-Men, X-23 wasn't made yet.
Oh, it's true.
But yet she's, you know what I mean? So unless there's some weird thing saying like if any characters are created within this time period and it's connected to a character that we own, we can use it.
Yeah. But I'm not surprised, by the way, like you're saying, if they make a Spider-Man 3 and the beginning of the movie is Andrew Garfield, like Spider-Man, it's Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, he just gets murdered like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Right? And then Miles Morales takes over. Okay. Fine, right? Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, people would like it, right?
Yeah.
Bring guy back, but it wouldn't shock me if they did it.
Yeah. But the thing is, your Ben Reilly idea could work, because look at like, remember everyone was like, you can't really do a Venom film without having any connection to Spider-Man, but they managed to make 2 films out of it, and they've done pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. I think if they do a Scarlet Spider film, just he's got spider powers, move on. Don't say just it. That's it. Yeah. Just get the adventure going. He's already got the powers. Whatever.
Yeah.
Don't need to go into any backstory about anything.
No.
And it doesn't even need to look like Tom Holland. It could be, like I said, any race, because you can just take the Ben Reilly name and slap it on whoever, really, and just say he's half white, and half whatever race that would have a Riley surname, and then you could have another ethnic race, because then you can get those people if you know how it's diversification now.
Yeah. So easy to get around it. Yeah.
I will say, I'm just joking around, by the way. I will say in this movie, I was like, okay, so they got what's the Anya? She's Latina.
Latina, yeah.
Yeah. Then they got a white Spider Girl, and then they got a black one Spider Girl, and I was like, all right,
Yeah, it's like so weird.
Let's just where's your Indian Spider Girl? Where's your Asian Spider Girl? Let's just hit all the. You might as well cover
all the markets as we can.
Yeah. Well, I say that, but it's Spider Girls. But what I mean is, you could have just got all your main characters as different races. I don't know. I'm gonna say for the lols, but you know what I mean. If you get to that point, you might as well.
Might as well just like fully lean into it,
Yeah. That's just me. Just we're just having a laugh there. Not too serious. Okay. Yeah. All right. So on to. Okay. So you're saying you would tell people to. Okay. Would you tell people to watch this or not?
I don't know. Like, okay, if you're like pro MCU, whatever, I would tell someone, don't bother watch it. But if you're just someone who wants to see a film and you have like no care, watch it. You won't nitpick like, why this can't be like the Marvel film, because blah 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 blah.
All right.
That's how I feel like some people rate the MCU films way too highly than they should be.
Okay, I will say, right, the section. Okay, if I had to re-edit this film, right, I wouldn't say to people, okay, it's good as it is to watch, right? But if you're a fan of a certain genre, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
But if it was up to me and I said, okay, look, we'll just forget the villain's backstory, forget the villain's actual human identity, yeah, right? Just have the guy in the costume chasing the girls, yeah.
Yeah.
That's and they don't know what the hell's going on. That's something that makes more sense to watch as a like you know, it's like I want to say a Terminator movie or something like that. You know, just this thing coming at them. That'd make it more. I'd recommend that more.
Yeah.
But as it is, I'd be like, it's fine, but yeah. It's not terrible. It's not amazing. It's
it's a film, you know.
It's definitely a film.
It does what it
does what it's advertised as. Yeah.
It'll entertain you for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well, almost 2 hours actually.
Oh, then that's it will entertain you for that 2 hours. You know, like it's not breaking the will, but yeah. It's all right.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Onto the actual spoilers. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this movie, the beginning of the movie is set in 1973.
Yeah.
And you have Cassie's mum. Well, the scientist lady who is Cassie's mum is pregnant. She's trying to search for some spiders for some particular thing, and she's talking about the arachnid tribe of the Amazon who have spider abilities. And I was like, actually, that's kind of neat, right?
Yeah, because it kind of goes into what's her name's Anya's connection to the spiders in the comics. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so they're not doing radioactive spiders, all that stuff, right? Yeah. Mystic spider. They're doing like Mystic Spider Totem-ish kind of thing. And I was like, okay, does that mean the Inheritors, right? But then about 2 minutes later, no, it wasn't going to go in that direction. So she's trying to find a spider for particular reasons that we don't get to hear at this point. No.
Ezekiel's like, yeah, okay, let's look, all right. You can stay here looking for your spider. I'll give you the umbrella, and I'll just head back to the hut, right?
Yeah.
The camp, and then he starts taking pictures on his 60s spy camera thingamajig of her notes for whatever reasons. I mean, I just assumed he was a spy then, but no. She's like, she's got this spider. She runs up to the camp. I found it. She's got this spider in a jar. Okay, like, all right. Drawing a massive attention to herself.
Yeah.
Ezekiel pops out, and she goes, oh, "Look! I've got the spider, whatever." And he does a Amanda Waller and starts shooting everyone in the camp.
Yeah. Right. Okay, that's a bit extreme.
Yeah, and then he tries to. She's like, I don't even forget Cassie's mum's name, but she's holding onto the spider, like, no, like the jar. And then Ezekiel's getting a little bit of a push pull sort of thing.
Yeah.
And Ezekiel fires his gun goes off, right?
Yep.
He takes the spider jar and he's like, oh dear. I don't know if he was, oh no, I'm in trouble, or he's actually sympathetic or whatever, but then he just runs off. Yeah.
I thought, because he kind of laid her down. I was like, okay, maybe he's being sympathetic. And then he just runs off. I was like, that's a dick move. All right. Sure.
Yeah. And then it jumps to 2000 and... No, hold on, sorry. No. Then the spider tribe?
Yeah, come and like save her. Because she's going to labor at the same time being shot.
Yeah.
So they like take her to some well?
I don't know. Some whatever, some mystic tribe, whatever they are.
Yeah.
That their little whatever they do, and they let a spider, one of those Amazon spiders, bite her.
Yeah.
I have to say as well, how they were dressed made sense to me, by the way, because it was like, it didn't look like webbing, but it was like webbed sort of shape things that Amazonian tribe. Well, I was like, okay, that's cool how you tied it into that.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
You didn't like, oh, they're deliberately dressed as spider, like, oh, this goes to that. It's just like,
yeah, didn't make it too obvious. Like, look at them, they like spiders, and they dress like Spider-Man.
Yeah. And then it jumps to 2003.
Yeah. I remember that time. I was 15.
Where Cassie is in her ambulance, driving the ambulance.
Yeah.
With Ben Parker in the back. Ben. right in the back, yeah. But yeah, so you, and they're driving, and she nearly runs over Martha Franklin,
Yeah.
Matthew Franklin, is riding a skateboard in her school
Yeah.
uniform, by the way, right? And she nearly gets run over, so she flips Cassie off.
Yeah.
Cassie's like, "Oh my, you know,
These kids and their
Yeah.
motorbikes.
yeah. They've got someone dying in the back of their ambulance. Come on."
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, they deliver that lady to the hospital, that person to the hospital, because we don't even know if it's the lady or not. We only know afterwards when they did have an Asian kid in this, by the way.
Huh?
They did have an Asian kid.
Did they?
Yeah, right. So you got the Asian kid, right? I don't know if he's Korean, Japanese, Thailand or Chinese, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But the Asian kid, he hands he's handing her Cassie a picture that he drew, like the 10-year-old kid or whatever. The dad's white, right? And Julia must be his daughter from the previous marriage.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's there now, and she's like, thanks for helping my stepmom or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
because that, I think that's, you know, obviously her dad's there. That's her dad, and I think the kid is not his kid. It's his wife's kid. So it's his step. Yeah, that makes sense now. Yeah.
And she's like Cassandra Webb. Cassie's like, she's got her hands full. Like, she's got her drink in her hand, so she doesn't want to take the picture because no one do anything. You know, she doesn't know what she's gonna do. Yeah, she's just gonna be awkward, right? Socially awkward. And then Ben's like, she's like, "Oh no, Mr. Ben Parker was the one that rescued your stepmom. He should take the picture. You give it to him. Give it to him."
Yeah.
And Ben's like, "Just take the picture.
Yeah.
I've got to sign the paperwork. You take the picture."
He's like, I don't know what to do. But I can't fold this card. Like, you just hold it. And it just appears
those bits I found funny.
Yeah.
And then they're eating Chinese afterwards, and they're talking about, you know, the barbecue they're going to, and then she's like, something about dating, whatever, right? And he's like, well, I'm seeing someone, and I thought they were just gonna hit you over the head with it, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't say anything about me, Parker. So, you know, Cassie was like, "Oh, okay, it's serious. All right, fine. I'll leave you be." So, okay.
Like, maybe this is before he meets May, but it's kind of like, well, it's not really said later, is it? Well, you kind of put two and two together.
Yeah. And I think that's when we jump to Ezekiel.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
being a douche. Yeah.
well, okay, so he's going to the opera, right?
Yeah.
And then he just randomly, like, he gets with a lady randomly in the opera. And then, he takes her back to his apartment, and then next thing you know, they're in bed, right?
Yeah.
And then he's having a nightmare of seeing the spider girls in their costumes murdering him.
Yeah.
And I have to say, actually, in the future, he with his, I say his dyed grey hair, but he was dressed like Ezekiel Sims was dressed in the comics. So I was like, okay, fine. I don't want to say your continuity was on point, because not really, but actually you paid attention to that, which is really weird because you didn't bother with other things.
Yeah.
However, anyways, right, he's waking from the nightmare, and then she's like, the lady that he seduced, well, he got with, he's like, you know, what's up? And he's like, oh, you know, you ever have those nightmares where you get killed, and then in your dreams, and I've had this dream for like 30 years. I know exactly of the faces of people that kill me. And she's like, oh, so
okay,
yeah,
that's not weird at all. No, all right, sure.
And then he's like, yeah. I think he does. He grab her hand, and then he kind of squeezes it, and he's like, "Yeah, I got a little bit of poison here." And she's like, "No, you're joking. You know, stop kidding around." He's like, "Nah, I'm not. Can you start feeling the poison hitting you?"
Yeah. You both at NSA. You need to. You like have technology to find whatever.
Exactly. I didn't randomly hook up you for no reason. Give me the password to get in your system to search for so I can search for the people I need to search.
Yeah.
and I'll give you the antidote before you die.
I was like,
Yeah. So he gets the password, and he just as you do it because you're a villain, he just lets her die, and I was like, right, okay.
Yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no. To be fair, you don't see her die or anything like that.
No.
But I think it's it never comes. She doesn't appear in the film afterwards, right?
I think she does die. He goes, what did he say? Something like, sometimes it's best you don't know how you die because then you.
Oh yeah. Well, he says that to her.
Yeah, she's dead.
And then, but you never see her flop over on the floor.
No, he puts her.
Yeah.
Kind of like lays her sideways or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say clearly she doesn't survive, but at the same time, it's not like it's more implied that she died from the poison rather than you clear cut.
Yeah.
But then again, obviously later in the film, she does not make a reappearance. So
she probably is dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So you would think, though, logically speaking, if you got the NSA passcodes, whatever, right, and they've got a missing person, because this film does not take place in just one afternoon.
No.
They would have. I want to say search for something or whatever. Give me a second. I gotta get the door. I gotta get the door. Sorry.
Yeah, like you would think if a top working agent went missing, they would go look for her, right?
Yeah. And then the other thing leads me to a thing we'll get to later on, where if she's still alive, obviously she can. It could just be have her kidnapped in a cell or whatever, right? Or we'll get to it in a bit, right? But then I was going to say, if certain things you could have concluded in a different way, yeah. But anyways, he gets her password. What happens next?
Gets the password. Then this is when Ben and Cassie.
Oh yeah, they go to another. Go on. Sorry.
Yeah, they go to another accident, and there's a car toppled over, hanging off a bridge.
Yeah.
And then Cassie goes in to save the geezer.
Yeah.
They get him out, and then the car tips off the bridge into the river. Also, that bridge is familiar because that's in Spider-Man No Way Home.
All right, that bridge.
That's where he fights Doc Ock.
Dr. Octopus.
Yeah.
As you said, Cassie's in the car. It falls off, and it falls off the bridge. Somehow the doors lock or whatever. Yeah, spin closed. Anyways, yeah. She falls into the river, has a near-death experience. Yeah. A premonition. Yes. Yeah. And then, then I think next thing he sees, Ben giving her CPR.
Yeah.
And she wakes up. By the way, the amount of times that CPR is foreshadowed here, I thought Zack Snyder wrote the script.
But at least it makes sense, though, right?
Yeah. But you didn't need, it made an appearance 4 times.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even the times that it's foreshadowed. It's foreshadowed later on, and then it's in the climax, right?
Yeah.
But then it's foreshadowed twice before it's even relevant.
Yes, that is true. Yes, it is. Yeah.
And this is one of the times.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Once it was foreshadowed, once it was foreshadowed later on, I was like, oh, we know where this is going.
Yeah. Okay.
And I would have been happy if they didn't use it, because then it would have been like, oh.
But then you know what?
Well, you expect it.
Sometimes you need foreshadowing. Well, it's not to us, but need foreshadowing for something to happen. Okay, it's built to that, and rather it just randomly happen. Why is it?
No. What I was going to say was sometimes you can foreshadow something, and then it doesn't happen later on.
Yeah.
Not like foreshadowing as a point to it, but it's just okay, here's a couple of relevant things, right?
Yeah.
But some of them might not even happen for as part of the resolution.
Yeah.
It just seems that it just makes it more this is random things happening rather than this is a specific thing happening which is plot relevant.
Yeah.
Anyways, So then they talk about going to the barbecue.
Yes.
Oh no, he takes her temperature. He takes her temperature vitals and stuff like that, and then she has a flash forward.
Yes.
Well, it's happening to her in real time.
Yeah.
and then something happens, and it backtracks, and then he says the same thing he said before, and she's like, "No, are you joking? You're already taking my temperature. I'm fine. Like my heart vitals are fine." And he's like, "No, it's not. Look at the reader. Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
looks like you are ready to go, I guess. You know."
Yeah. I was like, oh, interesting. Premonition. But yeah. and then they try to like get her not to go to work. She's like, "No, I'm fine. I can do all this stuff." Okay, cool. Then they end up going to the baby shower.
Yep.
And
the Mary Parker's baby shower.
Yes.
Where Richard Parker, her husband, is not there for some reason.
Yeah, he's in maybe Shanghai, Zimbabwe. I don't know. I can't keep up with what he does.
And yeah.
So like Cassie's feeling awkward because she's like not used to doing social things like this.
Yeah.
They're doing some baby shower games.
Yeah.
And then it all happens already. They ask her about, do you have any fun memories about your mom? She's like, no, well, my mom died when I was born, and blah, blah, blah. Someone's like, oh, this is awkward. Ooh.
Yeah.
A balloon
which
pop.
I enjoyed. That sort of comedy stuff.
Yeah, I like
that stuff. I thought like it's deliberately awkward.
Yeah.
Which makes it like it's the reaction of all the other characters. It's not really part of the. It's like it's from a different movie.
Yeah.
But then again, at this point, they're just setting the tone for the characters.
Yeah. And then a balloon pops, and then it rewinds back to what happened. So she starts getting freaked out, like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah. They're asking. Oh, you forgot the question. They're talking to her about the Mary's baby's name.
Yeah, one of the questions was like, "What's the name of the baby gonna be?" And then obviously again.
And I was like, "Oh my goodness! Don't!" Already, Ben Parker's in it. Already, you mentioned he's going out with someone who's meant to be Aunt May.
Right?
Yeah. And now you're gonna hit me over the head with the baby's called Peter Parker.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
But they don't. I was hoping for an interruption, and they actually, so they asked Cassie, and he's like, "How about Ben Jr.?" And they're like, "Nah, Ben will make a great uncle someday." Right. Okay.
Wink, okay. Before he dies, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're not gonna call it Ben, and then that's when the balloon pops, and then it goes back, and then she's like. And they ask her again, and she's like, "Is this part of the game? Haven't we done this before?" And everyone's like, looking at her like she's a crackhead.
Yeah, like, okay. You sure you didn't hit your head again?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So then Ben comes in and saves her by saying, "Oh, we've got an emergency. We've got to get to now. So sorry, ladies, but emergencies ain't gonna wait."
Yeah,
and they go to like a fireworks factory or whatever it is?
Something, yeah. I think it's a fireworks factory. They don't really say, do they?
Well, yeah. Unless it's the same fireworks factory that they go to later on.
That could make sense. But
no, because if that was on fire, that would have blown up, right?
Yeah. Well, they stopped the fire. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. If it was a fireworks factory, that is the level of foreshadowing.
Yes.
That's
way too much. Yeah.
Well, it's not way too much. It's just like, well, actually, they actually put time and care into putting this together. So how come the rest of it doesn't have time and care? Anyways, she's hitting CPR some dude again. Well, I say again, but not that she did it the first time, right? But she's doing some CPR on some guy, and then she as Ben is and some man being the size of wheeling the stretcher past her, she's like, check that person's ribs. They might have an internal injury. Yeah. And he's like, yes. Oh, nice, Cassie. We never caught that. And then you see their boss kind of having a dispute with someone else about going in there, rescue because the firemen, because it's like it's dangerous and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then does she have the premonition of the guy getting hit by the truck at this point?
No, she has a premonition of him her giving him CPR or something and blood in her hands. So she's like,
yeah. So she's giving one dude CPR, right?
Yeah.
White dude, right?
Yeah.
And then, like you said, she has a flash forward of giving someone else CPR, and it's a black dude
Yeah.
in uniform.
Yeah.
In the ambulance unit, New York Fire Department uniform, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, clearly something's off, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, then the scene replays again, and she's like, "What's going on here?" And she tries to tell the dude not to get in the ambulance.
Yeah. So let me drive. He finds like, no.
No, he's like, look, little lady. No, he wasn't doing it condescendingly, but it was more like, look, you had a near-death experience, yeah, and when you fell into the river, yeah, in the car. So maybe that's why you're wary of other people have been in this situation. But don't worry, it's just what's it called? It's you're just being overly careful.
Yeah, just day in the life sort of thing. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
So then he drives his van and he gets smashed.
Yep.
By some random truck that comes across wherever, yeah?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no. She wants to give him CPR, and then it's like, yeah. That's
He
that.
did. Yeah.
And by the way, when I said they give CPR 4 times, actually, now that you're telling me, this CPR, it appears 5 times, actually.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just like, well, more times than Martha, right?
Yeah, but at least it kind of makes sense. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
So
So yeah. Oh no, yeah. Hold on. I forgot to. Yeah. So we've got to mention the first time after she ate her Chinese with Ben.
Yeah.
She went back home, and we see Anya there, like talking about how her dad.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. The landlord's looking for the rent money. He's like, no, my dad's gone away, but yeah, when he gets back, we'll do something. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
All right. And she looks at Anya like, I don't know you, but I probably will at some point, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where you're like, okay, so all the key characters are making appearances very early in the movie.
Yeah. No. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
But
yes, back to where we are. Yeah.
Yep.
She on. That's. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, I was going to skip to something else, but then I realized no, that happens afterwards. She's in a depression because she's like, I could have stopped that, or maybe I could have changed it. I sort of foresaw it, but I just didn't commit.
Yeah.
But then who's to know, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so, because she was thinking they're just visions, not necessarily she can alter them.
No.
So she's. Ben gives her a call on the phone. She doesn't pick up. He's like, look, on the answer machine, look, dude's funeral's today. If you leave for the station now, you can still make it. We'd like to see you there. I know you thought you couldn't, like, you might feel it's you're responsible for it, but accidents happen, and it would be
nice
good
to see you.
Yeah. Show everyone your face, because they'd like to thank you for you tried to do or stuff like that, right? She's like, no, I'm just gonna be here, wallow in my own self pity.
Yeah, I'm gonna
put some popcorn in microwave some popcorn, knock over a plate, and watch a bird hit my window.
Yeah, like, that's not weird.
Yeah, and then it flashes back. She puts the popcorn in the microwave, and she's like, she steps away from the broken glass, like the thing she's about to break, and then she walks over to the window. And she goes, nothing's going to happen. She opens the window. The bird comes in, flies in for no reason. Well, I say flies in here because birds can't see the glass, right?
Yeah.
Then flies back out. So it just flew in there for no reason.
Yeah, flew back. Like, okay. I guess.
And then she's like, right, okay. Yeah.
That's not weird.
Yeah, let me just get my stuff together and try to make that funeral.
Yeah.
Let me get to the train station.
And this is where it all starts to come into play. Yeah.
All come together, yeah?
Yeah.
So our dude, Ezekiel Sims, somehow has this random tech lady.
Yeah.
With her 20 PC monitors, it seems.
Yeah, and can see all the city somehow. All right, sure.
Yeah. She's like, all right, so we use the NSA face recognition system to AI look at what the girls in your mind are, and then this is what they look like when they don't have their masks. And this is when we switch on our system to see if we can find them in any public camera, because apparently the NSA has. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't know about 2003 technology like that, but you know, really? Yeah. If it was a bit further forward in the future, you know.
No, I kind of bought. It's like, okay, this is 2 years removed from 9/11, so okay, maybe, yeah, all right. That's why I kind of justified it myself. Like, okay, that kind of, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, right. I suppose. Yeah. It makes a bit more sense.
Still a bit of a reach, but yeah.
Well, it's one thing, by the way. If he managed to, for example, right, he did NSA, yeah, but he managed to, then he throws that badge into a pile of badges that are from, like, have FBI, CIA, and whatever on them, right? So he's just like, managed to just seduce women from all men.
Yeah, it's like, how many people has he seduced to get to this point? And how many did he kill? You know what I mean? It's like that.
And then he built his own master system where all this could come from. He'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, all right. But no, he just used the NSA ones. We're like, all right, fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
Weirdo.
Yeah, I mean, technology can do whatever technology decides it needs to do for the movie.
Yeah, for plot convenience.
Yeah. So Cassie Webb runs up to the train station where Martha Franklin and her friends are causing a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
And then Julian Carpenter just kind of randomly walks into the scene and then walks away because she's going to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
And then I thought, for the moment, because I was like, okay, so if she's going to where the girls are all going to be, then Anya must be here somewhere. And then she does pass a ticket hall, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, the girl in the ticket that's selling, that's the ticket, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's Anya.
Yeah.
No, but it turns out it was not, because she was not in that scene for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Right? Cassie gets on the train. She has a couple of flash forwards of different things.
Yeah.
And it giving her a little bit of a panic attack. She's like, what's going on? And then Anya's already on the train.
Yeah.
With her laptop. Yeah. What's her name? Julia gets on the train. And then Martha runs on the train with because you know how kids are going to be like not paying for the tickets. So she runs on the train, and her friends run off to further down.
Yeah.
And
or
then
they get caught by security. Don't know.
Yeah.
Because they never come into play.
And then what happens is Madam Web gets a flash forward of Ezekiel coming in there, and basically picking up Julia, breaking her neck, and choke slam on the floor.
Yeah. And it's like,
what happened? You put the gut punch her and then just ragdolls her. I was like,
gut punch her and then ragdolls her. Yeah, like, that's a bit.
I was like, that's something, man. That's something right there. Yeah. So she's like, no. She grabbed, like, calls all the three girls and tells them to get off the train. Because she sees Ezekiel further down the train coming for them, and she's like, oh, you know, you guys need to get up here now. You need to go. And then Martha's like, why, what's your problem, crazy lady? So Cassie grabs her skateboard, and so Martha comes on the train to get her skateboard.
Yeah. And
then for some reason, so Cassie's just holding it while she's looking at the train, and Martha can't seem to get to it. But she's looking at the train because she's seen Ezekiel pass by.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, right. In my head, yeah, because I thought, okay, maybe this is not as predictable as I think it's going to be. But if he's on the train and he can't get off it,
then
that means the spider person that's going to be chasing him is someone else. So, because the train goes, right?
Yeah.
Then the dude in a spider-like costume-ish, right?
Yeah.
Is crawling along the walls at the top.
Yeah.
And the girls are like, oh man, we need to get out of here.
I didn't like that bit though, how like no one else has seen this. I was like, that's nuts.
Julia's like, oh, she's kidnapped us.
Yeah.
And then she's like, then Madam was like, shut up, man, we gotta get out of here. Like, don't you see that? That's the guy that's gonna get you. So the girls just all run, and then they let the police die essentially.
Yeah.
They do the horror, but it's like Batman slash horror villain or Undertaker thing where the cops just disappear, like the lights flash, the cops just disappear, like get dragged here and there, and I was like, that's cool, man. That's the stuff that it should be, you know.
Yeah.
Rather than that spider entity could have been just like, you know, a spider, like I said, a spider entity. I was chasing them for reasons, yeah.
Yeah.
And you could, I don't know if you want to tie it to the inheritance, or they knew that they were going to be powered later on, and he wants to absorb the powers or whatever, right? We could just have no backstory, you know. He's just coming after them, and he will not stop. Done. But yeah, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I thought at that point maybe they're going to make him like then. Maybe they mislead you in the trailers, and these Ezekiel Sims and this spider person are two separate people.
Yeah, I thought that was on point, but then they was like, oh, okay, sure, I guess, whatever.
But then again, but we saw him kind of. That's why I was like, did he murder that lady at the beginning? Did he give it a cue? Because he said, if you give me the passcode, I will give you the antidote. So he may not have.
I thought that, but I was like, but everyone, you say it's everyone, don't you? Like, because if someone knows they're gonna die, they're not gonna give you what you want, are they? But if they're that slight chance of, oh, if I do tell him, I'll survive.
That gave me enough doubt where maybe he isn't the spider thing. Anyways. Yeah, so she jumps in the Madam Web. Cassie Webb hijacks a taxi. And all the girls jump in there, right?
Yeah.
And then they drive it away, and then Ezekiel's the spider person's like, "Well, what am I gonna do now? Where have they gone?" Right?
Yeah.
And then Maggie Franklin is like, "Oh, what's going on here? I'm gonna call my Uncle Jonah. Come pick me up."
Yeah, I was like, oh,
yeah, because we know in the comics, right? Even though she's white in the comics, which makes Uncle Jonah Jameson, because he's white, makes sense. But maybe we'll just assume that Jonah Jameson is. Well, it depends on how he's related to her here.
Yeah,
so he could still be white.
Or it could be one of those things that not actually. No, like when you have like a long time family friend, they're just your uncle, even though you're not.
Yeah, like The Rock and Roman Reigns are cousins.
Yeah, well, there's a blood pact, but anyway, but you know what I mean. Like it could be just like she calls him uncle because she's known him for that long. Yeah.
Yeah, or someone in between, like his J. Jonah, someone's brother or wife is married to someone who's whatever, right? But anyways, I was like, oh, yeah, they acknowledge it. I wonder how many people are going to get that or not, you know?
Not many.
Yeah, and the girls are talking about the people that have missed them. So you better go to the police station.
Yeah.
No, you better let us go. They didn't say go to the police station. They better let us go. And she Madam Web's like, look, if I let you all go out there, he's going to find you all and he will kill you all.
But I did like as well when she goes, well, I can't let you go now because everyone thinks I kidnapped you, and I'm
yeah.
And like, oh yes, sorry about that. Silly people.
So she drives them to the forest somewhere. She said, look, you girls got to get to know each other because I'm going to leave right now.
Yeah.
I got to go back and get some stuff.
Because this is starting to make sense.
Yeah, he's a spider person, and my mum was going to look for spiders in the Amazon. So maybe there's something to that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, well, you know, and yeah. Laters.
Yeah. Bye.
We're gonna try and find out why he's after you girls in particular.
Like, you know, I'm more concerned about me, not you. So,
or you know, I mean, yeah. Because I say at this point she doesn't know they're going to be spider people, so
no,
she's just trying to work out what clues that she has from the trunk that her mum had. Oh, she goes back to her apartment, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And she pulls out the trunk of the spider, whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then that's when she sees the picture of Ezekiel. It's like, hey, that guy, I know him.
Yeah.
Well, he knows me. I don't know him because I wasn't born, but you know.
And then she reads about the spider tribe and she goes, all right. So, and she's like, well, I mean, okay, so let me try climb the walls because I wouldn't know if I'd have spider ability.
I did like that bit.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because the way she does it, she puts her hand on it, kind of puts her foot up, and then she kind of just slides down.
Yeah, because I think she tried to put do a little glimpse of her other foot, and it just slides down. Like, yep, no, I can't. I have no.
Yeah, and when you say it's a slide, it's not like a clean slide. It's like she's just is her body's really bent against the wall, kind of, and then slides, flop.
Yeah,
and then she's like to the cat, "Don't you tell anyone about this ever." That was embarrassing.
Oh, come round.
Yeah,
to this
yeah, and then the girls are like, so it's getting dark, and we're getting hungry, and ain't nobody gonna miss us because none of our parents are around. So yeah, and Maddie's like, look, I got money, and I spotted a cafe down there. Yeah, if you guys want to come with me, because I'm gonna go anyways, I'll pay for your food. And they're like, all right, let's head down there.
Yep.
Diner cafe, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so she goes, Maddie's like, all right, order where you want, lunch is all on me. Yeah. And they order a huge amount of food for some strange reason.
Yeah, I was like, it's because they got money, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Money that isn't theirs. And then Julia, Anya's saying to Matty, look, yeah, we maybe we got to go back there or something like that. One workout was, we should have, but maybe we've got to, do we stay with Cassie? Do we not? And they're having a little dispute about the pros and cons. I think that's what the conversation is, right?
Yeah. And then while they're doing that, there's a guy looking at the newspaper, which is the Daily Bugle. Remember? Yeah.
And while that's happening, also, Julia's not paying attention because she's spying out some high school kids down there, some boys, right? And she's giving them oh yeah, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, eye, but not really because she's shy. And then Maggie's like, oh look, girl, let me show you how it's done, right? Yeah. And she kind of ties her shirt Matty ties Julia's shirt.
Yeah.
In a more
so you can see midriff.
Yes. Yeah. I want to say what's that Britney Spears song? Oh baby.
One more time.
Yeah. More that sort of manner, right?
Yeah.
And that's when they walk over to the table, and that's when you say that dude he's reading the Daily Bugle about 3 kidnapped girls, and then he's like, all right, let me
do the right thing, which is makes sense.
And I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna say something to the girls, but then I was like, if you're a big burly trucker dude,
they might think he's trying to kidnap them.
Yeah. It could be even worse on his part. Yeah. Come, girls, stay in my truck. Yeah. No, man,
I will protect you.
Yeah. Especially if you got horned up teenage boys just over there.
Yeah.
All right.
So he calls it in, and then Hacker Girl's like, yep, we got a call about the girls. They're in this diner near New Jersey, blah blah. So he's like, Zeke's like, yeah, patch me in. I will talk.
I would just basically lie to the police force and say that no one's there, and then go to it myself, and they will believe me, which they do. All right, okay.
That thing was like, dude, you're an idiot. How was you already there? Because you can't say, oh yeah, those are not the girls. We literally just put that out. No one.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Well, cool.
Yeah. Plot.
Yeah,
it would have been better. It would have probably been better if the police did go over there and then he beat them up as well. But, because that would give us an action scene that it's actually action orientated.
No, but the thing was another thing that kind of made no sense about it. It's dude, you've already shown that you don't care about killing police officers. So
I guess he just didn't want to get shot because if he was in the UK, he wouldn't have worried about that. He might have got tasered, but he can withstand a taser.
Yeah.
Can he withstand gunshots? That's different. Especially if the police are now aware that there's some dude that's beating up police officers. Maybe they'll come with more higher power caliber guns. So, yeah. But like you said, it's just literally, I told them something and they believed me. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, Cassie makes it back over to the forest where she dropped off the girls. She finds the girls aren't there. She's like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
She sees the tracks.
Yeah.
I would like to say personally, but I couldn't see it clear enough. They were the tracks that Martha was using for her skateboard, and then that's how she could tell what direction we're going. But
I thought that, or what's her name? Julie left some clue, like breadcrumbs, not breadcrumbs, but you know what I mean, something to.
Yeah. We're just even though we couldn't see, we just assumed that you
Yeah.
could see footsteps of 6 footsteps going in a certain direction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And she walks over to the cafe. She's like, "Girls, what's wrong with you?" All dancing on the table, by the way, right?
Yeah, you know.
And I will say, Julia's skirt was particularly kind of, it was mid-thigh.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would you dance on a table when you know how short your skirt is and you are a shy character as well, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're in front of, like, when there's teenage boys, yeah?
Yeah.
And I was like, those teenage boys ain't going to be like Tony Schiavone
Yeah.
when he wasn't looking at Stacey Cooper when she was dancing on his table.
Yeah.
Because that's the man with
well, why?
willpower. Yeah? He knew. He actually said on commentary, "No, I'm not gonna look. My wife's gonna get angry with me." I was like, "Yes, Tony Schiavone."
Good on you, man. Good on you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're the man that many people want to be.
Yeah. Anyways, she so, and this is the bit we see in the trailer where a spider. Okay, well, there's the Ezekiel. We're just gonna call that when he's normal Ezekiel, yeah, and Spider Ezekiel when he's in the costume, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Spider Sims or whatever you're gonna
Yeah,
write.
Spider Sims. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. He comes in there and basically just he has a little tussle with Cassie because she gets a knife and tries to stab him and stuff like that. Even though he got spider powers, so he's just making a mockery of her. And then basically, I think he grabs Matty this time.
Yeah.
And wait, does he sling one of the girls against? No, he slings her against the
Throws against the wall, right? Like.
Yeah. And her stunt double, because clearly you don't see Dakota Johnson's face, right?
Yeah.
So her stunt double's taken that bump.
Yeah.
And I think he grabs Matty by the neck and he kind of like cracks it.
Yeah. And then I know doesn't one time he stab her, innit?
Yeah. He stabbed her with. I think she comes back with the knife.
Yeah.
She stabbed. Yeah. But which is what they show in the trailers. So it's just like okay, and it's not really an action scene, but whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think they're trying to entice people with that. It's a bit of an action movie, but it's not really.
No.
Anyways, so but and all that while Britney Spears' "Toxic" is playing.
Yeah, I was like, that's very of the time. That did come out.
Yeah. Which, by the way, do you know whose entrance music that is?
Who?
Sweet Soraya's, not Soraya.
Yeah.
Sweet Soraya, which is Paige's mum.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Go.
Yeah. So in the vision, so it turns out that's a flash forward vision.
Yeah.
And Toxic's still playing, right? On the car radio.
Yeah.
On the cab radio. So she's like, all right. So if the song's playing, I've still got time to get over there.
Yeah.
And she drives the car over there this time because she knows where she's going, right?
Yeah.
But she takes a little bit longer to get there because Ezekiel pops out and the girls are crapping themselves and the teenage boys that was dancing on the table don't do anything because
not my girlfriend. Yeah. So
yeah. Hey, ain't nothing to do with us, boys. Girls all carrying in the corner.
Yeah.
And then Ezekiel stalks towards them like he's Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
And then the cab just comes and smashes into the side of him, right?
Yeah, I like that.
I was like, okay. Kind of neat.
She ain't messing about this time. Wow. Oh.
Yeah. So he sells it, right? She's like, girls, get in the car.
Yeah.
Then he grabs her arm and like she does a little bit of a hand clench thing because something's going on, right?
Yeah.
And then she basically kicks the car door into his face and then gets out there and goes.
Yeah.
And he kind of just falls down. Not falls down, but because he only reached up. So yeah. It's like, okay, he can be injured, right?
Yeah.
And she's basically saying, I told you, girls. She kind of promo on them.
Yeah. You guys are so stupid. Well, she didn't say that, but yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I told you to sit down and stay in the forest and I'll come back and get you. What if I never found you? What, you guys don't know what's going on. You guys could have all died. All your family who care about you, how do you think they will suffer?
Yeah.
You guys need to grow up way quicker than what you are now. You can't be immature like this.
Yeah.
Your lives on the line. We're all our lives on the line.
And then
And
I liked how
go on, go on.
they got like you can tell she's angry, and then she realized that she made them like upset, and then she's kind of like, you know what, it's fine, but you know we'll get through this, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you guys to a motel.
Yeah, but just before that, I want to point out, I think when she was still angry at them, right? And Julia was trying to apologize. She goes, "I don't want to hear it." So she, the little sliding window they have in the couch, she closes it. But yeah, that after she does that, she realized, she was like, you know what, yeah, maybe I went too far. Yeah. Even though the situation called for it, that's not how you rally the troops or anything like that.
No. Which she realised, which I like. Oh yeah, she realised
that. yeah, and she's like, look, this is way beyond me, and I only get visions of the future and stuff like that. And but I tell you what, if you girls go to the police, right?
Yeah.
Look, your families can go and deal with that, right?
Yeah.
And then they can go to the police and deal with that, the rest of that, because. Look at him; he's got powers.
Yeah.
And we're
just 4 women.
Yeah. Well, you're 3 teenage girls, and I'm a ambulance personnel. So.
Yeah. None of us have combat training, so this is gonna go well. At all. Yeah.
And then Marv was like, "Nah, my parents are off in Beijing or wherever they are.
Yeah.
They don't care about me.
Yeah.
You know.
And then
so they're not gonna report me missing." And then Julia's like, "Yeah,
I'm running away because
I was running away when you found me because I don't think that my family cares about me. So and they haven't reported me missing either, so they probably don't care at all, actually."
Yeah, and then we find out about her mom's actually like in a psychiatric home because she had a mental breakdown after the divorce. This is.
I was like, these American Idol / pop idol / whatever idol sob stories.
Sob stories.
Like, I was like, oh, okay. What's Anya gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh, my dad's been deported. That's why we can't go to the police because you know.
Yeah.
They're gonna find out that I'm under 18, and if my dad's not here, and I'll get deported too, and I can't. You know.
I'll get deported or put into the foster care system, and that's when what's her name? When Cassie goes, "Yeah, it's not that bad. I was adopted. I grew up in there, and I turned out fine."
Yeah, and all the girls look at her like, "Please."
I wouldn't say you're fine, but all right, sure.
And then this is where like she why did she say them the CPR? Wait, they go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She have some sort of vision of the future. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I can't remember because she goes to sneak out.
Yeah.
And then I think.
Oh yes, you're right. She goes to sneak out. She goes back to the cafeteria, which is cordoned off.
Yeah.
And then somehow she has a psychic spirit realm fight, a mental conversation with Ezekiel to download the plot for the rest of us and the characters. Well, we know the plot, right?
But the characters don't. But yeah.
But like I said, if we just minused all this stuff out and he's just after him because he's after him, it'd been so much more. How are they going to stop him? You know.
Yeah,
Whereas now they know. Once you get his backstory, and I don't know if I want to say it's a rewrite or something like that, but it just means like, okay, this is the point where we're going to give the entire lot of exposition, so we can get to the next point of the movie.
Yeah.
But he's like, yes, I'm trying to kill these girls because they killed me in the future. They killed me in my vision, and she's like, yeah, but
okay.
How do you know that's going to happen?
Yeah, and
how do you know you're not making that happen?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, yeah.
And then because he's villain logic, which is why I'm saying this. That's just why the parts of the movie where you're like, oh, come on, man. No, that makes sense. But it's just like, look, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget everyone else.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All right. Well, you're just gonna make things a bit tougher for yourself later on. You know. Imagine if it's actually you're right. All right.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a film if it did that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll leave you alone. You leave me alone. We're good. You know.
Yeah.
I don't even think that. I think they. Yeah. If he didn't go and chase the girl, she would have worked out he's the Ezekiel Sims, and then, then she would have. been like, she went and found the thing we jigged, the picture of her mum with Ezekiel Sims in the Amazon rainforest, and then went and worked out he's Ezekiel Sims, and then bam, you know?
Yeah, would have been like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, he signed his own death warrant there.
Yeah, he did it himself.
Yeah. So, yeah, and does she drown? I can't remember. Like, why is she teaching the girl CPR?
Why was she teaching? I can't actually remember. There's a reason. There is a reason.
Yeah.
I think she's like, okay, just in case something happens. I can't remember.
Yeah.
There's a
no,
reason
the venom.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
So the vet, she's like, so they're like, oh, something happened to your hand. And she goes, basically, like, if he grabs you and give you like the venom bite,
yeah,
then and it's sustained for a certain amount of time.
Yeah,
you can't recover from it. So and it make your heart beat irregularly, blah blah blah. CPR, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, so then it'll make your heart stop, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, this is how. So I want to teach you girls how to do CPR.
Just in case. Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. But at that point, it was actually relevant. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that the 3 other times that we saw it before, when it wasn't relevant.
No,
like, okay. All right. Yeah. So she's like, okay, and here's the new plan. Right, girls? Okay. I will drive you to Ben Parker's house.
Yeah.
You guys stay there. No, sorry. I'll call Ben Parker. He'll drive you to his house. I will go to Amazonian rainforest for a week.
Yeah, just because. Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys stay out of his camera, whatever,
yeah.
Nowadays, by the way, they'd have been finished because they went online and that's...
Yeah, literally, as soon as you finish that sentence, one of them already been online, like...
Yeah.
Saying something. Yeah.
Yeah. Social media, whatever,
Yep.
right? Or to check out something, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yes, so Ben Parker knows the assignment. He's like, all right, we'll be in Jersey, way out of the way. He won't come after them over there. Somehow, they behave themselves for... Oh, I don't say they behave themselves, yeah, because they don't.
No.
But they managed to not get their faces on any sort security
of
footage, whatever.
Yeah.
So Cassie goes to a rainforest. She goes to find out where her mum was studying spiders, and that one of the spider tribe dudes says, yes, I've been waiting for you for
30 years. Yeah.
No, I was gonna do the Matt Hardy thing. That's why I was laughing because daughter Cassandra, yes,
Web Cassandra. I knew you'd come. Yeah.
That's it. And then he takes her to the well, or where the baptism bath or whatever you want to call it, the cave where her mum was, and she's like, your mum never hated you. I know you're beefing with her, but she like sit in the vision pool and you understand everything, right?
Yeah.
Understand why we all had to do what we had to do. And then she talking to what's it called? She sees her mum saying she's at the GP or doctors or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And she's holding a pregnant belly, and she's like, and the doctor's like, yeah, your child there has some ailment, and they won't live past a certain age. Yeah. So unfortunately, there's nothing we could do. And the mum started to cry, and then the lady's like, do you need the tissue? Right? And then she goes, then the mum goes, oh, no, there's some studies in the Amazon rainforest, whatever, about the spiders that can cure whatever. Right? And then the doctor's like, do you think we should go to the Amazon in your condition, where you basically weeks away from giving birth?
Yeah.
And she's like, look, that's she's like, look, at least that could give me some sort of hope, right? What can you give me? What are you giving me aside from a tissue? Like, oh, yeah. Yeah. And then Dakota Johnson's there. Cassie's there, witnessing all this.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, right, Mom, you tried to, it was me that made you go to the forest. You were trying to save me all along. And she goes to hug her mum in the vision somehow.
Yeah.
Which she does. Like, all right,
See, this bit you're filling in for me, because because this wasn't because the film was boring or anything like that. I had like a super long day yesterday, and I literally fell asleep for like this whole part, and I woke up like, oh crap.
Wait. At what point did you sleep?
Literally when she got to Peru.
Okay.
And I
And
literally
then
woke up
when did you wake up?
when she came back. When Ben Parker was taking the kid.
All
Literally.
right. I laughed because like I think I said before, right? I was watching King Kong, and the point where the Peter Jackson's King Kong in 2005.
Yeah.
And I was falling asleep as well.
Yeah.
And at the point where he was climbed the Empire State Building, and then next thing I opened my eyes, he's already on the floor.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, yes, no, she basically gets the vision. She sees why her mum went to the rainforest. She sees how her mum got shot by Ezekiel, and she sees how what's it called? The spider tribe saved her mum.
Yeah.
And then that dude is like, when you accept the power, when you accept the responsibility, great power will come. And it's like, shut up.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I'll see
I was
what
like,
there, I guess.
No, but it was just like, oh, please, man, please.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, do you need to basically have the saying? You don't even need it.
You don't need to.
Film.
No.
It's just too on the nose.
Yeah.
Not even a reworked way around it. It's literally you swap the words around.
Yep.
It's just, it's just like,
Sure.
I was like, you could have said something a bit more situational.
Yeah. Something made more sense, but alright. But I guess this is like where later on where Ben Parker adapts it to like,
Yeah. I was just like,
but did you need to do it?
Yeah. Look, it was like,
yes, I know what you mean.
Yeah. Like you could have just said something along the lines of, you have abilities beyond what you think you're capable of. Yeah. When you accept them.
Yeah.
Then like when you embrace them, then you the whatever, right?
Yeah.
But something along the lines that it's like, yes, it's similar but not. But then it's more like she needs to see the web of life or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it would have made sense, but I was just like, okay, right. You're telling me literally great power responsibility come from the spider tribe from wherever it was in the Amazon. They must have had the same for X amount of years, and then she got it and she gave it to Ben Parker. I'm like, oh my goodness, the dilution, right?
Yeah.
And it's not even like, oh, Carol Danvers is what's it called? The Avenger, right?
Yeah.
In Captain Marvel. That was like, okay, fine. That kind of all right.
Yeah.
That was neat. That was, anyways. So she comes back. Well, no, she's on her way back from Peru. Ben Parker's like, the girls are making a mess in his house. They're throwing popcorn at each other. They're acting like kids because I was like, oh. And Mary's like, Ben, I need your help because I've either wet myself or the baby's coming and my water's broke. And Ben's like, let me call an ambulance. Let me call an ambulance, right? And he calls and he gets through and he gets the location. And then Mary's like, Ben, we need to go now.
Like, need to go now. Baby come.
So he puts the phone down and he's like, girls, get in the car, get your hoodies on, go. We got to get out of here. We got to go to the ambulance. We've got to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So Martha, for some reason, is in the front seat and she's got a hoodie on, but she's looking around everywhere so her face can get spotted by the cameras because, as you do, right? Instead of just having a hoodie on over her head and keeping her head down, right?
Yep.
It's not as if, by the way, I think they just passed another van or something like that, and she looks. It's not as if there was something and she was rubbernecking, for example. But anyways, so she does that. She gets spotted by some camera. Ezekiel's hacker's like, okay, that's where they are. That location over there. And Ezekiel's like, all right, I'm gonna get my sports car and go.
Yeah, because that's what I do,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how far they are away from him, right? And I think he's like put all the green lights on, probably so he can get there faster. And then they get into a jam, and he suddenly appears there in his spider costume.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Is there a flash forward here?
No, it's a bit
No.
later on.
She comes back from Peru. She is knocking on the door, but no one's there. The ambulance come along, and I was like, all right, so does that mean, like, they knock on a door, right? And I'm like, does that mean next door has an ambulance? She grabs the ambulance, she gets in there, she goes, sorry guys, and she drives off, and I was like, wait a minute.
So
someone's having an emergency.
Yeah, so someone else is going to die because of you? All right, cool.
No, but then I was like, oh no, that's the ambulance that Ben called.
For the
baby.
Yeah.
That's why, okay, so that makes sense. Even though she wouldn't have known that.
No.
Right?
No, she wouldn't have. That's the thing. No, she wouldn't have known at all.
Right? But I was like, okay, that at least that makes sense there.
Yeah. Guess that's like good timing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think she was having a flash forward that Ezekiel blows up a bunch of cars, like jumps on Ben's car and blows it up or something like that.
Yeah.
So she's driving somewhere and we're expecting her to knock him over again or come out or do something, right?
Yeah.
The car's stopped. Ezekiel pulls a grenade out, yeah? And we're like, where is she? Where is she? Where is Cassandra Webb? She drives an ambulance out of one of the buildings because she's gone up a ramp.
Yeah.
And she just crashes the ambulance into Ezekiel. I'm like, wow, that lady.
Yeah, like, she doesn't care at all. She's got
well,
a new
I mean,
plan.
I'm sure she had a vision and she knew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though you would have to say, to a certain degree, she doesn't know. But this is where it got a bit weird because she could see the future.
Yeah.
Exactly, but she could see her current future, not the final destination future she was having earlier.
Yeah.
Which I think it does make sense because she's gone into the pool of.
So her power, I say, like she's got more of a handle of her powers.
She's accepted the responsibility and now has embraced the power. Yeah. Whatever, right? Yeah. So Ezekiel gets knocked over. The grenade falls out of his hand, blows up. Some other car sets on fire, so you can walk out like around the fire like a Terminator, right?
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Mm-hmm. Girls get in the ambulance, so the girls get in the ambulance. Ben's like, what do we do? And Cassie's like, just take her to the hospital. He don't want you no more because the girls are with me, so you're safe. You're nothing to him anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Checks out. Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, the logic is the logic, right? Yeah. I'm getting out of here. All right. Birthing's about to happen, you know what I mean? Yeah. So they drive off. Ezekiel, obviously being a spider person, just jumps on these cars to jump towards her.
Yeah.
Cassie's like, all right, Anya, charge up the defibrillator, and when I tell you, no one touch the sides of the vans. Keep your feet off the any metal, right?
Yeah.
Why is it? No, she doesn't say that. She says, don't touch the sides of the van.
Yeah.
Right? 3, 2, 1. And she sees Ezekiel take the jump, so obviously he's going to land on the thingamajig, right? And she tells Anya to hit the roof, the defibrillators on the roof, and then Ezekiel gets electrocuted. Yeah. And falls off the roof. And I was like, wait a minute, yeah. Fair enough, the girls aren't touching the side of the vans, yeah?
Yeah.
But doesn't that electricity, when it go up the pedals, or wherever that the unless you're gonna say she just let go of everything while
Yeah, or unless this is like a stretch. I'm gonna use it. Unless the front of the ambulance is isolated.
Well, we could even say if you we are really going to defend it. That the charge was only enough to hit that area before it dispersed.
Yeah.
And it gets weaker as it goes further, so it didn't touch her.
Yeah, it's the only thing that.
Not that she would have known either, but whatever, right?
Yeah, if you would know.
Or maybe she did know because of the visions, right? Anyways, so they drive to the fireworks factory, and she's like, "All right, well, girls, like, listen, take the flares, throw them in all the crates of the fireworks, right? Because this is what we need to do to get away from the dude, right?"
Yeah.
So then, as he jumps in there, all the flares are setting off the crates of the fireworks, and he's getting hit with all sorts. And then they're like running towards the wall, and then the girls are like, "What now?" And Cassie's like, "Duck." Yeah. So then something hits. So one of the fireworks sets something off.
Yeah.
That then hits the wall, and they climb through the wall, and then they go upstairs. Oh yeah, I think she calls a helicopter to come rescue them before this.
Yeah.
She gets the vision of them getting into the helicopter and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So then, we get to the finale where they're climbing up the staircase and Ezekiel's coming after them, and then he's chasing them along the fireworks are going off, right? And somehow, like, she's telling the girls to go in a certain direction, and then something like a shard comes flying across the roofing and everything. She takes it off the wall because she pulls Julia back. She takes off the section of roofing off the wall and she starts using it as a shield.
Yeah.
And then she goes, girls get back because then Ezekiel pops up from the floor and everything, like, starts trying to kill Cassie and and all the girls are separated. And then I think there's this where Julia actually tries to help, like, oh no.
This is where it starts a kind of diversion from her visions and that. So like all the girls sort of get in trouble.
Yeah.
And
he calls the helicopter to crash as well.
Yeah. Because he bats away one of the fireworks, I think, and it hits the propeller of the helicopter, and the helicopter explodes. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're fighting on top of a giant Pepsi sign or whatever it is.
Sign,
yeah. I was like, okay. Pepsi appears as well as much times as CPR does, I have to say.
Yeah, you gotta get that sponsorship money, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
And then so she sees them all about to die, sort of, or in compromised situations. Mm-hmm. And then this is when she.
Wait, Ezekiel says you can't rescue them all. You can't be everywhere at once. You can't rescue them all. You have to get it through me. You can't even get it through me.
Yeah.
What can you do? And then
I can use my time displacement power.
Well, the whatever quote they say of the great when you accept the power, you have great. When you accept the responsibility, you have great power. And then she's like, she does the ashram projections of herself.
Yeah.
Which Martha's on the some cross beams. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she'd like take my hand, and then I think she takes that, and you're hanging off something else, and she take my hand as well, like to help her up.
Yeah.
And I think Julia's just on the floor.
Yes,
and
stands her up.
She's not in any current position, right?
Yeah.
But she gets a token Cassandra going over there, going, "Oh, don't worry, be all okay, girl, be all right."
You got this.
Yeah, and then Ezekiel's like, he hasn't got his mask on anymore, but he's like, "What is this? Why am I standing here, letting her do the like Super Saiyan charge up? Nah."
Yeah. Like, I should have.
I'll punch her straight in the stomach.
Yeah.
And I was like, actually, you know what? Okay.
Yeah, sure, I guess. If it works.
And I think that's when Julia comes along to try and hit him with something, and he just kind of pie faces her.
That's before that. That's how she gets into that weird. Yeah, that's how they get all into the damage.
Oh, right. Well, I was going to say, because I was like, the most frightened, timid of all the females actually does try to do something. I'm like, okay. Yeah. That's how she gets a little bit of her little arc.
Yeah.
You know?
And then this is where. So she saves all that stuff, innit? Yeah, and then
So basically, she had the vision of the S falling. Even though, to be fair, she had a vision of the helicopter rescuing her. So these two things are slightly different now. But the S, she's trying to lure Ezekiel to a certain point.
Yeah.
Where stuff starts falling. Yeah. And I think he tries to reach out to her to finish her. Some of the Pepsi sign that's been hit by the helicopter actually falls on him.
Yeah.
Then the S falls on him. S for Spider-Man.
Get it?
Yeah. Or Sony, even if you want it, right?
Yeah, Sony.
Anyways, and then, so that knocks him down to a couple levels, and then I think the rest of the Pepsi sign falls on top of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaving him for
Yeah, and then I think, but the way she is as well collapses.
Yeah. And she falls together.
Yeah, and then. So it's like, it's not even one of the ironic things, but she saw everyone's future except for her own, right?
Yeah.
But I think she said something along the lines of, you were afraid of all the girls all the time, Ezekiel. You thought they were your death, or something like that. Yeah. And then she goes, no, you thought they were the one that you should watch out for, but it's actually me.
Yeah, like,
I was like, all right.
You go, girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? We'll speak about that afterwards, right?
Yeah.
But yes. So then Julia comes and rescues. I'm like, oh yeah, well, you know.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, look. If one of the other two did it, I'd be like, they look like active ladies. They could do stuff, yeah. But it's just like, no, Julia's the one that gets to try to hit the villain. Julia's the one that rescues her.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, like, I don't want to say it's surprising, but just like she said she did Taekwondo earlier, even though she didn't show any capabilities of that whatsoever. But it's like, okay, well, you know, if they do something future on, then at least you could be like, okay, they're all useful in specific ways or whatever, right? I don't know if you do want to do it. Yeah. And so they give Cassie CPR. She revives, and then is it a flash forward at the end?
No, wait, yes, a couple of months
Later, yeah.
Yeah.
She's in the Madam Web clock tower, essentially.
Yeah.
She's somehow blind, and she's in the Xavier-style wheelchair. So did she get her back broken? Is she crippled? I don't know exactly. But it's just more... Yeah, she's like, Madam Web in it.
The blind bit they kind of alluded to, because you see it happen.
Yeah.
When she's fighting what's-his-face, right?
Yeah, her eyes go green.
Yeah.
You know, like, they're staring into the distance or whatever. So, yeah. So I don't know if you want to say she fell into toxic water or whatever. I don't know.
Her eyes got burned or whatever from like the smoke or whatever. Yeah. But the back. Did she break her back when she hit the water then, I'm guessing?
No, well, if it hit the water, I'm going to say by the time Izuku punched her in the stomach, yeah?
Yeah.
You never saw her using her legs again.
That's true, yeah.
So maybe like one of them Dragon Balls, you know when someone in Dragon Ball gets punched and the back of their... wherever they get hit, like in the stomach, right? Their back just bends completely out of shape.
Yeah.
That's probably maybe he broke her spine like that. I don't know. But let put it this way. I know I'm joking because I never watched out for her feet, right? But if you got punched in like that, right, from a spider-powered person who's not holding back, they'll probably crack your spine. Not only that, but their fists will probably went through your body anyways, right? Yeah. But we're just gonna have to try and fit the logic otherwise.
Yeah. Try and put two and two together.
Yeah. So she's in the Madam Web clock tower. And the girls are like, oh no, they're in a hospital. They take her to a hospital. She's got her eyes bandaged up, and then the nurse comes in and says, "Are you all family?" And then Cassie's like, "Yeah, they're all mine." And then the nurse, I thought they were gonna turn the camera back to the nurse for a split second where she's like,
"Oh, if you say so."
yeah, and just be like, all right, and sell it, yeah. But no, they just cut and she just walks out. I'm like, all right, you know.
Yeah.
And then I think we see Mary Parker with her baby.
Yeah.
Which they still haven't named. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, right?
Nudge, wink, wink, yeah.
And then she's in the Madam Web clock tower with the girls. They come back. They got Chinese. And then Madam Web's like, oh yeah, so I know, like, what the did you buy this, that, and the other? She goes, how do you know? And then she goes, oh, because I know. And then I think they said, then she said, Anya, bless you. And then Anya's like, what? And then Anya sneezes. And I'm like, oh, well, you know, yeah. Future, right?
Yeah.
And then the girls are like, oh, this, that, the other, whatever. Like having all friendly banter, yeah?
Yeah.
And then Madam Web does the Xavier thing where she turns her wheelchair to the window and she slides it forward by having a crack in a smile because that's what Xavier would do with the X-Men bicker behind him.
Yeah. And you see
them yeah, exactly. Girls in their costumes, which they never wear in the actual movie. CGI costumes, by the way, it seemed to me.
I don't know. It seemed like they were real.
Yeah.
But then...
I feel like they were too sleek to be real, if you know what I mean. They're like not the texture, but just more like they there's no crinkles or anything like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things like Tom Holland's costume in some of the Spider-Man's like half.
Oh yeah, sometimes that has That's why I by the way I have to say the Andrew Garfield costume when in Amazing Spider-Man 2 where he's falling at the beginning where he's dropping down doing the dive,
Yeah.
and there was crinkles on his costume. Like, oh yeah, that actually looks really cool.
Yeah.
But then you said, like you said, the Tom Holland costume looks too in Avengers. Captain America: Civil War, it looked too clean.
Yeah, because that was CGI in it, and then it weren't until the actual Spider-Man Homecoming where it actually was a real.
Yeah,
costume.
yeah. Oh, I think that was enhanced CG. I think. I've seen the behind the scenes where they kind of cannibalized an Andrew Garfield costume, but it didn't look exactly like I think they were just using it as a basis. Anyways, and then Madam Web in her it shows the vision of the girls in their costumes as well as her in her own Madam Web costume. Yeah. And then we hit end credits with no extra scenes.
No. Okay.
All right. Okay.
How come?
Yeah.
Morbius got one, but you don't get one.
Yeah. Where could they go? Unless they were
from what I heard from the directors, like she wanted to do something different and not do one. Like, okay, makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, at what point were they gonna have either Tom Holland or Andrew Garfield in this?
Yeah. Unless it might have been at the end, where where they were standing there in their costumes and stuff.
Yeah.
It might have been then. Because that is in the future.
It's true. But then again, if Amazing Spider-Man takes place in 2012, that's only 10 years, 9 years from. To be fair, Amazing Spider-Man, there never was a timeline for when it does take place.
What year it is, isn't it? So you kind of can get around that.
Yeah.
Or if it was the Tom Holland one, that kind of works out, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that one probably would make more sense because it'd be about 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so overall, all right. I don't mind. By the way, I don't mind them. It was a bunch of girls.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I say a bunch of girls. Yeah, ladies, whatever. Right.
Yeah.
One lady, 3 girls.
Yeah.
In the storyline. Yeah. I don't mind. And they. It was. I want to say it was a feminist agenda movie. They just happened to be all Spider Girls, right?
Yeah.
Girls. They didn't even have Spider abilities, so it's not as if they were. Doing stuff they couldn't do. They could only do stuff they could do. That wasn't that much, anyways, right?
Yeah.
I wonder why they not that they. I'm not saying I wonder why they didn't use Silk, but Cindy Moon is in Spider-Man, so that probably laid that problem out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they could have just had someone else called Silk. I don't know. But yes, so overall I was like, okay. Some bits cliche, some bits just predictable, and other bits you're like, I've seen parts of this movie before.
Yeah.
In other things, right? Whereas, if it was Spider Terminator coming after horror movie victims, slasher movie victims, kind of, I'd be like, all right, this is my vibe.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a fan of slashers, and would I recommend certain people to watch it? No. But then again, some people, if you like a Jason Statham film, you recommend a Jason Statham film to someone, right?
Yeah.
You like Vin Diesel films.
Yeah.
I wouldn't particularly recommend Vin Diesel films to watch to people. So, there's always that kind of opposing opinion.
Yeah. But, yeah, like I said, if it's like, me personally, I enjoyed going to cinema to see it, but I wouldn't, if you're a hardcore, MCU fan, I wouldn't recommend you go see it.
Well, it's not related to MCU.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, you have no reason to really see it.
Yeah, which is correct. Yeah, I interrupted you before you finish your sentence there. Sorry about that. I will say it's on the level of Sony Spider-verse non-Spider-Man films at this point.
Yeah.
So if we're comparing it to Morbius, if we're comparing it to Venom, it's along those lines. So it's not as if I know what the quality is when I'm going to watch those films. Like you said, I'm not particularly looking forward to Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah. But I kind of already know what it's going to be like. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
the only sort of non-Marvel, the non-MCU like Spider-Man related film I'm interested in seeing is
Yeah.
obviously Beyond the Spider-Verse, the next one, and
Yeah.
Venom 3 because I want to know what insanity happens in that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Venom is one of those where like, we'll look. It's crazy, and we'll embrace it.
yeah, because Venom knows what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's outlandish,
Yeah,
and that's what's entertaining about it. It's like, look, no Spider-Man, whatever, right? We're just
yeah,
gonna go full hammy.
yeah, and you can kind of get with that, but
Yeah,
like again, I like Madam Web, so I'm not gonna say anything. But like Morbius,
yeah,
you don't know what it's trying to be. Same with what I feel from Craven. You don't know
yeah,
what they don't know
yeah,
what they're trying to do with it. It's like, okay, let's make a
yeah.
film. And people like Craven's Last Hunt. Yeah, let's just
Yeah,
make the
well,
film like
Craven's
Craven.
Last Hunt is actually really good, but I don't think they could do that story
No,
because it involves, um, yeah,
like instead
uh,
of Craven, they could have made a film. Like, I don't know jack crap about this character, but it makes more sense to make a film about this person.
oh,
What's her name? Jackpot.
oh yeah, yeah, Jackpot, who in Brand New Day where they pretend that she was Mary Jane, but because that's the red herring, except that
Yeah,
it wasn't Mary Jane, and now it is Mary Jane 20
but
years
like,
later.
but you know what I mean. At least like that kind of character makes sense to make a film out of.
Look, they was gonna do Black and Silver, which was Black Cat and Silver Sable, which I'm like, all right,
Yeah,
yeah.
that makes more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, if there's people you can't make that, like, and why can't Craven the Hunter be hunting Black Cat and Silver Sable?
Yeah.
You know, and they're not even a team together. Like,
No.
one's a cat burglar, who probably, she stole the wrong item, and for example, in this story, if it was going to be Craven the Hunter, and then the Silver Sable is like a bounty hunter as well, right?
Yeah.
But then Craven Hunter's like, well, why don't I hunt them both down? And then or you could do that and it make sense, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like it's just like Sony Spider-verse is like, we got the dregs, right? Because we
Yeah.
signed up our Spider-Man character, we can't use him in our universe.
No.
So thing is, right? Marvel signed away the X-Men and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And still managed to do stuff with all the people they had left over.
Yeah.
So, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, a random group of people, which isn't even in that lineup in the comics at that point,
Yeah.
or before, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But they did something. However, if we flip on the other side of the equation, DC has the entire Justice League, and they still couldn't do anything much with that.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah.
even though like you can't get a random like Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad have a good lineup. Whether you're gonna say the stories, like,
Yeah.
the Suicide Squad had a good story as well, and the
Yeah.
comedic chops to go with it, right? But I like the lineup of Suicide Squad 2016. So you can do stuff with a group of people. I just think they just kind of rushed Madam Web into production. They were like, yep, spider centric somehow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Well,
Yeah. We'll see if it gets a sequel. Not hold my breath, but
Yeah, exactly.
again, I'll be interested to see a sequel. But if it doesn't happen, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, like, if they were going to, I don't see why they. Oh, I say don't see why, but they probably can't use, like, if they were going to do have a Spider-Man in their universe. I don't see why this couldn't take place in the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
He probably, whether you can use him or not, or something like that, that's a different case. So yeah.
Yeah.
But at least then you could be like, there's a Spider character here for all the other characters then to spawn their stories off, rather than, like, for example, Madam Web here was like, oh, we're gonna work around everything. It's just like, if you acknowledge the guy's existence, but you can't. He's not gonna be in your movie. That's fine.
Yeah.
Not every movie has to have an appearance by everyone else.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So,
but yeah. We'll see.
though you probably shouldn't tease someone that you can't have in your movie, anyways. But whatever. Yeah. And I feel like they could do a Sinister Six movie with the villain they have left over in the Sony Spider-Man universe. But who are they gonna fight?
Venom.
Venom, the Sinister Six versus. Well,
they could just make the Spider. Like they could just realistically, center the Spider-Man universe like around Venom.
Yeah.
Now I mean, like it would work.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Or like I said, right? They could have just done a Scarlet Spider movie, yeah, and use him as their Spider character.
Yeah.
Done and dusted.
Yeah.
So the people that don't know would be like, why is Spider-Man? Why is this guy? Yeah, look, Scarlet Spider could be anything. Yeah, at the end of the day, yeah. Just say he's like dude with spider powers.
Yeah.
And he's called Scarlet Spider. Yeah. Who can argue with that? Even though they're going to be like, oh, this movie's ripping off Spider-Man. Yeah. He was like, well,
he was Spider-Man at one point.
yeah, he is Spider-Man. What do you mean? It's just like when you make a movie, a Superboy movie. It's like he's ripping off Superman. Well, he is Superman. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Just because you don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Overall,
Do you think, by the way, in your mind, will they make a Scarlet Spider movie? And I don't mean like Ben. And when I say Scarlet Spider, I mean like Ben Riley or Kane Parker. Well, non Peter Parker related. If they just like how we have Ned Leeds, who's not really Ned Leeds.
I personally don't think they should.
Okay.
Like it just starts getting things too muddy.
Okay. Then you think it may not work, but if you just clean break, no backstory, he's just a dude called Ben Riley and he has spider powers. If we just start like that.
But then you could just make a new character up and say you got spider powers rather than just use the name Ben Riley.
Oh yeah, but I think people are more accepting I think comic book fans are more accepting if there's backstory to the character rather than if you called him Jack Action. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know because you're going to get that thing. You like one of those situations you won't be able to please everyone, and the vocal majority will win. Okay. Say like 8% of people are okay with it, but the loudest people that make loudest noise is the one that everyone's going to hear about. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I was going to mention something, but then I was like, it's actually probably not relevant to this conversation. But some people, by the way, the Snyder Cut was like one of the people so some people they have their fans of whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then they want to see whatever. It's like if for example this example would be Zack Snyder's vision for Justice League, which is fine, right? Yeah. But when you start sending death threats out to the owner of Warner Brothers or whatever, and then you get your movie. Yeah, you'd be like, oh yeah, my death threat works. And it's like, no,
like we said before when we reviewed the what was it, Zack Snyder's Justice League. I remember we both said, I'm glad it came out, but how we got it, I'm not happy with. Like it just proves that you could bully your way into getting things, and that's basically what happened. And
I don't know if that's exactly what happened, or they thought they could make money for it. But whether you accept that part of the crowd of people that were threatening actually got their way, that's bad example to, because then it just leads people to be going, oh yeah. Whether it was other factors, it's like, oh yeah, we did this, so if we do it again, we can get our next thing. It's like, but that's not the case. I think people make money. People do things for money. Yeah. They put out this film, right? Spider related because they're trying to get money. Yeah. Whether it makes money or not, that's a different matter. Yeah. Whether you think it will make money or flop is a different matter. But they don't do it for the goodness of their own heart.
No,
I
don't care. No.
Yeah. And they certainly don't do it because of death threats.
Well,
because I hope not. Anyways. Even though that's got nothing to do with this movie. Well, look. I tell you what, I am looking forward to Deadpool and Wolverine, and I wonder how that's going to deal with all this other multiverse stuff they might have going on.
Yeah, I'm quite interested in it.
Yeah. And that's a comedy, so it can do whatever it wants.
Yeah. It'd be hilarious.
This movie is a thriller, so it has to play it straight in a certain way.
That one. Anything. I feel like with Deadpool and Wolverine, anything goes. So I like to see what does actually go.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie I wouldn't reckon. Look, the best I can say is this, right?
Yeah.
Some parts are enjoyable, but I don't know who would I recommend to watch this.
Yeah. Like I said,
as far as the immediate people I know.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I just think people who have no like allegiance to anything, yeah, watch it. You know.
Yeah.
Like me. You know.
Yeah.
Like I like to every now and then watch a film that doesn't have a overarching like dependence on previous things that's happened or plays stakes in a large universe. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. This is like not connected to anything. Cool, all right. Yeah.
I think what it was, parts of this is misleading because they assume action has to happen because it's an action thriller, right? Or whatever you want to call it. But it didn't need to have that because there's no opposing force for Ezekiel to fight.
Yeah.
So you can never have a physical whatever, unless you're going to say the Spider-Girl's powers start activating and then they start having to fight him, which would be like, that wouldn't make sense in part of the story.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to say Madam Web's power activate their power or whatever, right? No, it could have just been like them getting a low-key kind of chase movie with, like I said, Ezekiel's the spider entity coming to chase them. You know. Yeah. I think that would have been much better because then you wouldn't have to have the action scenes where you think it's gratuitous because it just needs to be there.
Yeah, but it's like comic films. It's got to follow the whole, you know.
Well, yeah, it doesn't need to. It's comic book. It's based on a comic, but it doesn't necessarily need to be action.
I don't know.
I think it's probably like you're saying. Some people would expect it, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be there. And you, as far as the trailers go, like we said, it shows exactly what the movie is. So if you write a trailer, if you do the trailer the same way, where it's then people who are watching the movie know what they're in for.
Yeah.
Rather than some. Have you seen the trailer for Usual Suspects? This is just one off the top of my head.
No.
That made it look like an action movie.
Yeah.
If you've seen Usual Suspects, you know that it's not an action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. So Madam Web, look, I watched it. It was fine. Yeah. Not great, not terrible, not as. People just loving to rag on it, and I'm like, but that's maybe you guys are expecting too much. You know.
Yeah.
This film, at the very least, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Characters don't do stupid things, right?
Yeah, everything happens like logically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
whether you're gonna say it's a cliche story or not, that's a different matter. Yeah.
It's different matter.
And the scenes where the like. I see the scenes with Ben Parker, right? But anytime Adam Scott's on screen, it's the interactions are actually really good.
Yeah.
And I don't mean I'm not cussing the rest of the movie for a certain particular reason. I'm just saying whenever he just happens to be there, and I'm not just saying he's the key component that makes everything good.
No.
They just having free flowing dialogue or something like that. Yeah. At the time that he just appears on screen.
Yeah.
Which makes it more relaxed.
Yeah.
For some reason. Yeah. And they're the non-action bits.
And like this film made me actually appreciate because I've never really, I wouldn't say I'm a fan. I didn't care much for what's her face before seeing this film. Dakota Johnson. Yeah. And watching this film, like, because I don't know, I found she came really charming to me. I was like, yeah, you know what? No, I like this woman. She played pretty good, like from like how she started off as a like closed off sort of loner with that one friend to like, oh look at her, she's come out of film, she's
introvert,
caring.
I'll say.
Yeah, introvert.
Yeah.
To like come into a caring person. Like, yeah, no, cool. I like her. She's a good
And now are you gonna watch 50 Shades of Grey?
Nope. Seen the first one, that was enough for me.
I ain't bothered watching any of those anyways, but okay, that is us signing off.
Yes.
Well, so I guess you are Dakota Johnson's new #1 fan.
Yeah, man. I'm Dakota Johnson stan. Yeah, as we call ourselves. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm one of the girls who table dances to Britney Spears' "Toxic" CY Chon.
And I am. I'll say it again. Dakota Johnson's #1 stan, Kyle Charles. And thank you for listening to us talk about Madam Web and review it. Can't believe we went for this long, but went for it longer than the movie. Bloody hell!
Oh jeez.
Yeah, but yeah, if you've seen it, let us know. Or if you haven't and you plan on seeing it when it comes streaming, let us know that too. Also, don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. Yeah, I said subscribe while you're there. There's cool things going on there. If it is this on the audio realm, please give us a 5-star review and leave a 5-star rating. And yeah. And also don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And you can find all the lovely jubbly information where to find us in our description bit. And until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you all for taking a trip with us around the spider loom. I'm joking now, around the multiverse.
Bye.
Have a nice one. Bye.